Yes.
Like,
in fact, I just did right now.
Oh no.
So
Are you telling me
everything's
that this
done.
garbage is the opening?
Yes, this
What
is
is
the
up,
opening.
all you toads and toadettes? Welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast. I am Nikolai.
And I am
that's
Brian.
Brian. Whoa,
Whoa.
jinx. Oh my
Whoa.
gosh. Whoa. It's going to be a fun one today, guys.
I can already tell.
Brian, how are you? What's up?
I'm doing pretty good.
How's your bald head?
So
Not that bald anymore.
No, it's not. It grew pretty fast in light of quarantine and not having been able to have a haircut in the last few weeks. I shaved my head.
Yeah. And to everyone's surprise, not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
It worked out pretty well. Not that our audio listeners would have any idea what you look like, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
That may change someday.
Yes.
We'll see.
I, however, am doing the opposite. I'm growing my hair out as long as I possibly can.
Like a wild mountain man.
Yes. It's almost as long as it's ever been. So it's getting there. The back is quite unruly. Mm-hmm. I'd like to have a ponytail someday. So I've never done such a thing before. So There you go.
So on the agenda today, first and foremost, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Beautiful game.
So I've always thought that Square should go and remake some of their older Final Fantasy games. Mm-hmm. And then when the PS3 launched and they had this little teaser
the tech demo, yeah,
with an FF7 remake, I was like, this is amazing. They need to make it. And they didn't.
Nope.
Not for the lifetime of the PS3. Mm-hmm. And they're
upsetting.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if the outcry was really as big as I felt it should be. I don't know like how much the gaming community at large actually was upset over the lack of that. But apparently the demand was big enough for them to actually do it.
Yeah.
And they finally, after years and years,
many years,
they finally made it.
They pulled a Kingdom Hearts 3 and
I know.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, same team, right? Basically.
Well, Nomura, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
so
I think so, yeah.
Pulled the same thing twice.
Yep.
Make the fans wait years and years and finally come out with it.
It's pretty good, though.
But
at least it was good. Thank God it was good.
I know, right?
Otherwise,
But yeah, and it was good. I did really enjoy it. So when I first found out it wasn't going to be turn-based, I was upset. Because
you're just one of those OG people, right?
Well, it's just like turn-based RPGs are what I grew up with, and that's what made me like RPGs. Those were all my favorites. Pokemon, Final Fantasy were turn-based, and I enjoyed that
Paper
system.
Mario, most of the Super Nintendo ones were all like that. Earthbound, all those, yeah.
And it wasn't until Final Fantasy 12 where they didn't have random encounters, and it wasn't really turn-based anymore.
Yeah.
That I realized, oh, okay, I kind of like this, and so then actually playing it turns out not having random encounters, and that's pretty. It's actually pretty nice.
It's kind of nice. Yeah.
So I played on normal, which is the highest difficulty you can do until you beat the game once
at the start. Yeah.
Where you unlock hard mode, which is just normal with no items.
No items, right? Yeah. Are there any boss differences? Do you know?
I don't think
or anything
so.
like that.
I think
I need to look more into that.
I think the only difference in difficulty is so easy and classic,
right,
are both have the same difficulty level, and the normal is a higher difficulty level. It's classic, but with a higher difficulty. I think. And so, unlike FF12 and a few other games, unlike a lot of their past games, so they've had the time battle system for a long time, as at least as early as FF7, maybe even FF6. Where
you've played FF6 more than me, so
yeah, I've forgotten too much about FF6 to even remember, but basically, you have to wait in between actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have that bar, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the ATB.
Yeah,
I think it's advanced time battle.
Ooh. Oh, that's so cool.
So advanced, but no, or active time battle. I forget. And like you could choose your action, and then you had to wait for that bar to fill up, and then your character would do it. In this game, you have to wait until the bar fills up before you can select the action. So it's not actually any different, but it feels different. And also, ATB your ATB meter just went up over time. You didn't do anything to
Right.
make it go up
Yeah.
faster. It just went up after a set amount of time.
Mm.
In this game, it does, but that time is extremely long. The way to make it go up fast is to attack an enemy.
And get attacked, right? Does getting hit do it too?
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah. Usually
But
does.
not much. And so you can run into this scenario where your ATB meter is depleted and you have very low health. And so you don't want to run in and start attacking because you'll get attacked and you
Right,
might
right.
die. But
So you have to
if you
get
don't
good,
attack
right.
the enemy, your ATB meter will go up
Too
glacially
slow, yeah.
Just
So you like have to do stuff.
so you
yeah.
run into this situation where you might just have to be dodging attacks for a solid 30 seconds or whatever as you wait for this meter to go up so that you can heal once. And
Sounds like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, so what winds up happening a lot is you just die and then you have to one of your other teammates has to heal you, and the reason you got into this situation in the first place is probably because all of your team's ATB meters are depleted. And so you're just hoping that one of them will live long enough to get their ATB meter up so that they can revive you and then have to wait for it to go up again to heal you.
Nice. If one character's is full, do all the other ones keep going up still?
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
And you have
you
two
could
meters.
Somehow stagger
Or-
them,
Yeah,
possibly.
so, or rather, you have 1 meter, but it has like 2 segments, and so if it's completely full, you can do 2 actions before it's
Oh,
depleted.
nice. That's nice.
So smartly managing your ATB is
Big part of
a
it.
big part
Yeah.
of being successful at that game. If you're in a fight where it's not super hard, sometimes you can find yourself just wasting it and not using it, and so because.
There's definitely some strategic thinking that has to go on, yeah.
Like the way I played, at least, I used Cloud very heavily and didn't really necessarily use my teammates a whole lot, at least in easier fights. And then in the harder fights, they were necessary to heal Cloud.
Right. So they're just your healers.
They were just my heal bots, basically. And then like your base damage is incredibly low.
Right.
Like even
That kind of makes sense. But
even with the strongest weapon I had at the end in the last boss, but you can change modes to this Punisher mode as Cloud, and when you do that, every attack does way more damage. It's a substantial boost in damage, but you can't block. But you can.
so it's like a rage thing. You're
yeah,
just-
but you can parry.
oh, nice.
You can like.
So if you get really good at that, then you're good, I
Yeah,
guess.
so like if you hold down the block button and then they attack you with certain types of attacks, you
Right.
actually will counter attack.
Nice.
So and
So
in some
learning that
fights,
timing
that's
is really
kind of that's
important,
pretty
yeah.
much the way to win that fight is
Yeah.
to do that.
Nice. Seems like one of those things.
You also move incredibly slowly, but when you swing at the enemy, it moves you closer to them, and so
Oh, there's
when
like a
you're
bit of a homing thing.
yeah. So when you're in Punisher mode, don't bother trying to walk around. You just
hit the
attack your
button.
way
Yeah.
toward the enemy
Yeah.
to close the distance.
And you do that in Kingdom Hearts a lot too.
yeah.
I heard a lot of people comparing the two battle wise in some ways. So.
I mean, you can definitely tell that the same maker made them.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I've learned now you can definitely tell when a game has been made with the Unreal Engine. There is
Yeah.
a certain look and feel
Totally.
to games made with Unreal that is persistent in every.
Was it Unreal 4 in it?
I think so.
Yeah. Although this is probably the best looking Unreal game I've seen.
Yeah, and I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was also Unreal.
Yeah. It was. That's why it had a different feel than a lot of the other Kingdom Hearts games. Did
Yeah.
did look pretty amazing though.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive looking game. I've just seen I follow multiple Twitter accounts now that just post like screenshots from FF7 Remake because it is so awesome looking.
I love looking at all of the comparisons between the original
Jeez.
because it's such
Like,
a
how is this the
vast
same game?
difference.
Like that's the kind of remake that should be made, you
Yeah.
know? Like I'd be totally okay with them remaking something like Mario 64 or something because it looks so old and bad. It is so blocky.
The first generation of 3D
Right.
games,
It just makes sense to
all
remake
kind
those.
of warrant a remake.
A
at
lot
this
of
point.
like GameCube era, I don't really feel is that necessary right now.
yeah,
Like it'd be nice just for like an HD upscale would be nice, but like a full remake's a little much, I think.
yeah.
But N64 PlayStation era, definitely.
And there are some games that, like, because of their aesthetic, they've aged well.
Yeah, sometimes it's really part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, while I feel like Wind Waker HD looks good,
it does look good.
it sort of was unnecessary, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't look as much better as like between the HD remake and the HD and just a HD upscale, you know, just like an emulator with that's on an HD screen. Not much of a difference. Yeah, the shadows are the biggest difference.
Yeah,
because that's I think stylized games like that, right? They look better after a long period of time. So
yeah, and of course Paper Mario. Us
still
being big fans of
one
that.
of the best looking N64 games because of its stylized
And
look.
we're in at least one or a couple of Paper Mario communities, and there's some support for a remake, but I'm not sure it is necessary.
I would like at least a port. You know,
Yeah,
a port to
sure.
Switch would be sweet.
A good port would be great.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would actually benefit all that much from a graphics update.
Quick thing, another thing about FF7. What Tifa dress did you get? Very important. Did you get the blue one or
the Chinese dress?
So is it like the kimono one that's like shorter, or like the long Chinese dress?
The long Chinese
Oh,
dress.
cool. That
Yeah,
one's
the
nice.
shiny one.
That one's
yeah.
nice. Which adjective is that? Is that elegant?
Sporty.
Is that sporty? Oh,
Yep.
interesting. Okay. I like the shorter black kimono looking one.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
I don't think
Her
I've
hair
seen that
looks
one
really
yet.
good,
Actually,
too.
I need to look at it. Aerith was in the red dress.
Yeah, the sort of the main one. I feel like definitely suited her. What about Clouds? What was Clouds?
It was blue.
The blue one. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
black and blue.
The black one was nice too. Yeah, amazing. That is such a great scene.
Yeah.
There's that whole isn't there like a whole like dance sequence and stuff?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's
like a rhythm game.
It's not just a little tailor shop.
right. Yeah.
In the original. Very different.
I think they knew that the fans really
we need this.
wanted this scene, because I wouldn't doubt me that is that whatever.
It wouldn't doubt me. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
perfect.
It wouldn't surprise me is probably what I meant to say. Yeah.
I doubt you.
Savage.
Savage.
I think I was combining the phrase
So
I wouldn't doubt it
Yeah.
and it wouldn't surprise me
There you
into
go.
one phrase.
That makes sense.
So yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if people on the team making the game actually considered cutting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that
silly,
was on the table. But I'm sure there was enough fan desire,
Outcry, yeah.
outcry
like-
for it.
Like, okay, we'll do the opposite. We'll make it 10 times bigger than it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, for real.
So it's basically a completely different game than the original
Right.
in most ways, besides the story and the characters and the setting. Those
Which
are
sounds like everything, but it's not.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is completely different, and what you do in the game is very different. There's some areas where you do some side quests, some quest chains that had. I'm trying to think of which games. There are other games I've played that felt like that. I think kind of like Borderlands in a way.
Interesting.
And yeah,
Just like people you talk to, and
you talk to
have
people,
these
you go to
quests
places,
and-
you fight things, and you retrieve items, and classic RPG questing.
RPG side quests. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and the characters are pretty similar to how they were in the original game. I thought the notable exception was Tifa, because I feel like in the original she was a bit snarkier, snottier. And in this game, she really wasn't so much. She was a little snarky, maybe, but she was much nicer and
She's just
more
nice in
like
this
motherly.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, and so spoilers, but
Whoa.
at the end of this
Sephiroth
game,
is in it?
you fight
crazy.
Sephiroth. Like, it's not a spoiler that he's in it. It's a spoiler that
Yeah.
you fight him this early in the story. Because in the original game, you don't fight him
Right.
this early. But and of course, if anybody didn't know, this game only has the Midgar section
Right,
of
right.
the original FF7. There's probably going to be
At least
three games,
two more, if
probably.
not three. Yeah. How did it have the like flashback sequence with the town and Sephiroth and Tifa and Genova?
It doesn't have the full. So when you in the original game, it's right after you leave Midgar that Cloud tells the whole story of that. So there are some like short flashbacks to it, but you don't see
You have the full thing yet.
the whole story yet.
Maybe that'll be like the start of the next game. That would
probably
that would make sense.
because that it is, I think, the first thing you do after you finish Midgar. In the
Yeah,
original
that's how, I think
game.
you like go to like a really close neighboring town.
Yeah.
And then you're in like the inn room
Yep.
and he tells
in
everybody.
that upper room, and then
Yeah.
he tells the story,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
funny
right.
because
That's
Tifa
right.
knows that that's not actually what happened,
Womp womp.
but he believes it so strongly,
I'm
and
right.
she's
like, I was
like,
there.
and she
And in a cowboy outfit, but don't worry about that.
Right.
Don't ask. There's already art of her in that. Like it's already like
well, so there are a couple of flashbacks of
yeah,
her in that
like,
outfit. So
I'm like,
yeah.
wow, they did it. They kept the cowboy outfit.
There's also a couple of scenes with Zack.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm really glad that they included some of that.
Yeah.
Because I actually like the Crisis Core story quite a bit.
Yeah, and
Not the best game, but good story.
The fight with Sephiroth at the end is satisfyingly difficult because
You definitely
it kind of should
took
be.
some tries, yeah.
Being the last boss fight in the game and also being
fact it's Sephiroth,
it
yeah.
should be a hard fight, and it is, at least
That's
in
cool.
my opinion. Maybe other people are like, that was easy,
Yeah,
whatever.
there's always those people.
But you know,
It's like, oh, you didn't beat Kingdom Hearts at level 1, you're a loser.
yeah. Well, and like overall, I
Those
didn't think
people.
the game was all that difficult anyway.
Yeah.
There's a couple of boss fights that I really struggled with,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing I couldn't beat with
At least
some
like
trial
a
and
few
error.
Tries, yeah. Nice.
I never actually had to like go back and grind for a while, which is
That's
always
nice.
a plus in my book.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be strong enough to beat whatever boss you're fighting with however many enemies you killed along the way. I don't like RPGs that
forcing
make
you to
you go
grind.
back and
Yeah.
grind for however many minutes or hours that it takes to get you up to a certain level, so
Yeah,
that the boss
forced
is actually
grinding
beatable.
is pretty lame. Not many RPGs do that anymore, though.
Yeah, like I've
Thankfully.
definitely felt that with Valkyrie Profile too.
Yeah. Those are rough games in
yeah,
general.
like it's
The Tales games are pretty nice about it.
Yeah.
They're not too bad with that.
and obviously just being able to see all the scenes, all the important
Just the
story
classic
elements
stuff.
in the high res glory was great.
I loved how they did Jessie and everything. She was awesome. Because I always liked her in the original too.
Yeah.
She's even better in this. Yeah, that's cool.
She's very flirty with
Oh
Cloud in
yeah,
this.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious in the original that she was into Cloud, but yeah, in this one, she's like, "Please marry me right now."
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, and Biggs and Wedge, they're actually like characters with actual personality and depth to them, which
Nice.
they basically didn't have much at all in the original game.
I've said this before, but not on the podcast. It's like this remake is what they wanted the original to be. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think the scope of N64 and PlayStation era games was too big for the technology, and even like Super Nintendo games had the same thing, where it's like they wanted to do more, you could tell, and they actually cared about this project, but like they just couldn't with the technology and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they're finally trying to do the story justice and stuff. Like, I always was disappointed with the size of Midgar, in the original.
Yeah.
Like you can beat this amount of the game in like just a few hours. Like it's nothing in the original. And I agree that Midgar should be way bigger and way cooler. So
Yeah, it's kind of the most memorable part of the game, of the original game.
it's like, I mean, it's the title screen. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's on the cover. Like,
And it did take me about 40 hours to beat. So
that's what I've heard. It's pretty
Yeah.
much about consistently 40. Yeah, I just think that's really cool. That's the kind of remake, again, the thing a remake should be, is like them actually fulfilling their original scope for the game. Yeah, that's really cool. I haven't played it yet. I don't know if you can tell by how I'm talking about it. I would like to.
there's more I could say,
will
but
soon.
that I think that covers like the main points I wanted to cover about
Yeah.
it.
Cool. What else are you playing?
So, and I might go back and like maybe try a boss fight or two on hard mode if I'm really feeling masochistic,
Yeah.
or
Nice.
and I might go back and grab a couple of the items I missed early on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of hidden stuff.
Yeah, there's
Hidden
like
materia and
there's
stuff.
a materia or two I probably missed. There's a couple of music discs that I probably
Oh
missed.
yeah, right. That whole thing.
I did get most of the items because I think I've finally learned Square's system of
Yeah.
hiding things and
Yeah.
where they tend to put things. And in fact, I was kind of surprised there weren't more hidden items. There were
Maybe
a few
there are
times
you don't know about.
I mean, it's possible, but
I was shocked sometimes in Kingdom Hearts how hidden chests could be and stuff. Like it was pretty crazy sometimes.
yeah.
Brian just bent down. Wow, Brian, we're recording right now.
Hey, hey,
You're always looking at computers. You're always looking at your phone.
hey. At least I don't have my phone sitting on the table buzzing
Down there.
every time I
Not
get
anymore.
a text.
Not anymore. It's down there now on,
Yeah,
on a
okay.
jacket so that it doesn't buzz.
All right.
Awkward.
Okay, so then I was like, all right. So I started Shadow of the Colossus of like a month or two
PS4
ago. And
which is a fantastic game. Anyway, continue.
and I had beaten the first Colossus, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start trying this again and try and beat that second Colossus. And I
Which
swear,
one was the second one? Was it the flying one?
no, it's like a giant elephant thing, kind of.
Oh, right. Yeah. Flying one's
I
later.
had
3 or
I
4.
struggled so much in a period of just like 5 minutes with the controls, just getting my character to do even some basic things that I just put the controller down in frustration. And I'm not sure I'm going to actually ever play this game fully.
Jeez, that's so sad. I don't know how to help you.
I think I might just watch a Let's Play of it so that I can just see everything.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But yeah, I'm not interested in
Game
trying
Grumps
to
have a hilarious Let's Play of it,
Yeah.
of the remake.
I'm just not interested in trying to overcome the controller.
Like I've heard that, about the controls a few times, but I don't know. I got into it after a while, but
and it's not that if I decided to devote enough time to it, I could probably get
You'd
used to
learn
the
it,
controls,
yeah.
and it wouldn't be that big a deal. But I just am not
You don't
interested
want
in
to right now, yeah.
investing that time.
maybe someday you'll want to. But
I want the time I invest in a game to be learning strategies and experiencing the story. And
Yeah.
that's
more
what,
worth it.
If a game's going to take my time, I want it to be for those reasons, not for figuring out the controls.
Frustrating controls, yeah.
Just like
That makes sense.
Which is why I don't play a lot of platformers, because I would be investing a lot of time in mastering jumps and stuff, and I'm less interested in trying to do
I'm all
that.
about that. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, the Crash remake is like that for me.
Yeah.
Insane. It's so hard. It's just like it's like one of those classic RPGs, platformers. I never played Crash like at all, and so it's totally new to me. And like I've gotten decent at it just because I know platformers pretty well. But there's like one level. It's like the first hard level. It's like halfway through the game, and not hard to beat, but hard to 100%. Like there's in Crash, the collectibles are like crates, like wooden crates, and you have to destroy them all, and that's the collectible of the level, right? So if you destroy every crate in the level, you get like a gem at the end, and that gem is the main collectible of the game, and that level is such a nightmare. I took like 2 days to do it, and they were like 3-hour chunks in 2 different days for me to finally beat this. And then platformers are those things where it's like you beat one part and you've got that one part down, and then you die once on that part, and you're like, and that's so frustrating. So you're like, I know that part, and then you die like 3 more times on that part, and you're like, I'm gonna rip my hair out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that frustration because I'm not very good at platformers, so
Yeah,
I've
so that
experienced
happens.
that quite a lot.
Yeah. I did beat that one eventually, but it's crazy.
When it comes to
Good game
games
though, actually.
where the difficulty is in just your ability to manipulate the on-screen character, to jump or do whatever. I think the one game that I spent a lot of time on that I actually was rewarded for the time because I actually was able to complete everything was Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that was definitely
Took
that
some
type of game.
time and skill to
And
yeah.
that one on Downhill Jam Phoenix. There's a
Downhill Jam
little
is nuts,
pillar
dude.
in the middle of the map that is way high up
hated that level.
with a tape on top of it.
Yeah, on, like,
and
the spire,
getting
right?
to it, just getting that high up for one thing is really difficult to get to the platform to jump onto it. That alone is pretty difficult. But I managed to get up there many times, and then I would try
I remember,
all
dude.
sorts
I'm like
jumps
remembering now as you're saying it. You
and
trying
get
that?
across.
My gosh.
And man, I got it once.
Yeah.
I have one character, and it's not even my main save file. So that main save file is actually missing one tape, and it's that.
Yeah.
And I have a different save file that has that tape and almost no others.
But if you combine your files, you've done
Yes,
it. Yeah.
if I combine my files, I have
You've done
100%
it.
of the game.
Amazing.
Because I even got the gold
So
medals
funny.
on the like challenge levels. So like yeah, and then back to remake again. I don't think it took more than 5 tries to beat any of the bosses.
That's good.
Even
That's a solid amount of
the
tries.
2 that I think took the most tries to beat were the Airbuster in the second reactor, and then Sephiroth.
That one, the Airbuster is kind of hard in the first one too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
And then I was thinking about what boss have I tried to beat that took longer than any other, and I think the one that took the longest was the Bio Lizard in Sonic Adventure 2.
Absolutely, 100%. The shadow, the first one, right? The shadow fight.
Yes,
Yeah,
because like there's the final hazard fight,
but that's
where
one of those like
that's
almost like a cutscene fight. Like it's
Yeah.
too easy. It's too
yeah,
easy.
that
was
easy. But man, I remember I think I got 99 lives,
Really.
and I lost.
And you went through them all. Yeah, I distinctly remember the 50 part, but I think that was just one try of it.
Yeah.
You had
I might
50
not have had the
lives.
patience to get all 99, but
Just getting 99
but
lives
getting
is harder than
50.
that. I know you at least did it at 50, yeah. And tried 50 times.
And that was like
died
a
every
week
time.
of my life was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get that boss beaten. But I did eventually.
Yep.
And it's just that there's like a couple of tricks to it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of tricks that if you don't nail, you're just going to die and lose. That if you get them right, it's still hard, but manageable at that point.
It's like it's not like figuring out how to beat it. It's just executing the way to beat it.
Yeah.
You know, like there is a way to beat it, and you just have to execute it properly.
It's like for stage 1, you have to follow steps A, B, and C. And if you fail to execute those correctly, you just lose.
Yeah, you lose. Yeah, it's over.
And then there's stage 2, and then you have to.
It's like you'll get hit
Have
by
a
something,
different
and you just
set
put
of
your controller down. You're like, that's it. It's over.
Yep.
Like, even though you're not dead yet.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. One of those things.
Or there's just this jump
awful.
that you have to time right to like grind on this
Yeah.
little like pipe that's attached to it.
Also, the homing isn't perfect in that game.
Yeah.
And so when you're homing on all the little balls that are in the air, that doesn't work very well sometimes, and then you are screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're,
I distinctly remember that.
yeah, it's one of those games where
Failing
you're
on
kind
that
of
part.
fighting the game engine
Yeah.
too in some cases.
Even more so in like the original adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about Big the Cat right now. Maybe another time. Everyone knows about that.
The other one, I think, in terms of time spent, but this was less about difficulty and more just an armor check,
Yeah.
was Phantasy Star Online, the very hard mode Dark Vowels.
Oh, yeah.
So I beat him
I
with
remember
my
that.
like main character, and then I had a secondary character that was way more powerful than my first character. Her damage output was much, much higher than my main character, but she was a glass cannon. She had
Right.
no health and defense. And I would get to the third stage of the Dark Vowels, and it would one-shot me every time. And so I just had to, and I got to there at like level 60, and I was like level 80 by the time I finally beat it, because that's how much I had to grind to get enough defense and HP to actually not get one shot.
She's like the short elf,
Yeah.
right? The faux moral.
Faux New World.
New World. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're going to have a dedicated Phantasy Star Online episode at some point.
I'm sure, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of GameCube games, though, I've been thinking a lot about them just in general, and like I just keep like staring at them in my entertainment center, my stack of them, and I'm like, I just want to play GameCube games. Like it was just like such a part of my getting into video games that I just want to play GameCube games all day now, even though I haven't.
No.
I really, gosh, I hope someday they put those on Switch, but who knows? They'll probably do N64 first, but
Yeah.
but yeah. One of those. Oh, do you want to talk about Custom Robo a little bit?
Sure.
We had mentioned we wanted to possibly.
Yeah. We talked about it a little in our first episode.
Mentioned it mostly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting game. So we only knew about it because of Smash Bros. Melee. We knew about it because of the trophies they mentioned.
Trophy.
Custom Robo 2, which hadn't come out in the US, I think, at that point.
I never did.
And then I'm going to guess that the way that we first got it is that we were probably at a Hollywood Video or at a Blockbuster
I remember seeing it
in
there.
the game section and found it. And I was like, oh, hey, it's that game that was mentioned in Smash Bros. Melee with all those Robo things. Let's try it.
And it is awesome. Turns out.
It's funny because it's like, so we loved Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series where a guy like took episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Condensed them down to a couple of minutes and then made fun of everything that happened.
It was
in
also
the
like a
episode.
parody.
Yeah. And
it's classic, yeah. If you don't know that, go watch that. My gosh, it's so good.
Like in Custom Robo, when thieves would break into a building, they wouldn't use guns. They wouldn't threaten just to punch you. They would have you do a Robo battle.
That's it. We're doing a Robo battle.
That's also how the police would fight with Robos.
It's so dumb. It's like,
and so like you're some kid, but because you can use a Robo, you can fight off these criminals.
I mean, it's like Pokemon too.
Yeah. Like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, any of those ones where they solve real world problems with card games or Pokemon.
Exactly. And it was one of the first like anime things I've played or watched.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't that familiar with anime at the time.
It was a distinctly Japanese game.
It's very Japanese. The art's great. Like it's got the, Japanese text boxes with emoting, anime illustrations basically.
Which that was a creative way to get around having to animate characters moving their mouths and stuff because this was still early GameCube, so it
looked okay.
Yeah,
like the Robo battles looked better than the characters, in real life. But yeah, the Robo battles did look quite good actually for the time. I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, and I did like the characters.
Yeah, they're really enjoyable. Yeah. Very anime though.
Yeah, there's the Moe girl that you want like to save
and is kind of magic maybe.
Yeah,
because they always are a little magic or something.
And then the guy who is super arrogant but he's not actually any good at anything.
Yeah, the dumb best friend who flirts with every girl in sight. Yeah. Like a lot of classic anime tropes.
Yeah. And the boss who's always like, pictures of Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. I mean...
he's totally Jameson. He reminds me so much of him. It's so funny.
And but yeah, and the battle system, the battles were very fun.
Very fun.
And because Fast-paced. It's custom Robo, you can really customize your Robo. And
so exciting to get a new gun or something.
Yeah,
like,
and there's a lot of different strategies around the different guns. So I had...
Definitely.
There's a couple of tournaments you do where you can't use the same piece of equipment twice.
Right.
And so
I had to
learn different styles from just one main one. So I had like I'd use the Ray 01 with whatever the best weapon was as my first one, and then that would go away, and then I'd have there were a couple of Robos that were really fast, and so
I liked fast ones too.
And like they didn't necessarily have good defensive capabilities, but they could run so fast. So I would give them a pair of boots that made them even faster, or at least gave them better maneuverability.
Yeah, some sort of
and
boost
then
or something.
Give them a short range weapon. And so I would just run up,
boop, boop,
attack, and run away.
Yeah, that's a great. I loved doing that too. It's a fun strategy.
And then there was the cheapest weapon ever, where you would fire and it would be these like spikes in the sky that would rain down on your enemy and home in on them. It was you. There were ways you could
so
avoid
hard
it,
to block,
but it
though.
was really tough.
Yeah, so
to do so.
difficult to block.
So I would just use whatever the worst robo was. The robo I was least interested in trying to learn how to use properly, and then give it that weapon and just spam it. And unless the computer player's AI was really good,
Yeah,
they
you
would
would
just
win.
totally fall for it and lose.
Yeah. There were a lot of really weird and cool guns in that game. I loved that. Was the spike one the B one? Or was that a different one? Remember like the honeycomb bee
Yeah, I
shooter?
do
or whatever?
remember that one.
That's probably different.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the spike one was
This
called.
one was like sky blue colored, like the spikes were all sky
that's
blue
true.
colored.
Yep.
And yeah, I do forget the name of the weapon.
I loved the dragon one too.
Oh yeah,
That fired like a fire
think
dragon
that
head at your enemy.
the first-
that one was good too.
the first time I beat the game, I just abused that weapon.
Yeah.
That was
It's a good
absolutely
weapon.
my main choice of a
Yeah.
weapon.
I loved the Gatling too.
Yes,
That's just a classic.
like the first really good weapon
Yeah.
you get is the Gatling, and
It's just solid. Like
and one of the best ways to use it is to like run and then like slide and shoot.
yeah,
with
because it does home a little bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you get some good
and
shots.
So you'd like be sliding across and shooting it like.
You could shoot it across the map too.
Yeah.
It had a good range, so yeah, that was really useful.
And then of course there were the illegal weapons,
Yeah,
which were often just modified, better versions of the legal
like
ones,
the blue Gatling gun.
or the purple dragon gun, where the dragons just came
So
faster.
cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, like super fast.
Yeah.
I remember that. Wow. Yeah,
That-
they came
that one is so
really
broken.
fast. Completely broken.
But
My
I
goodness.
think the most broken build of all is just the Rahu 3
Of
everything.
course, yeah. The final boss. It's like I think in some games when you like unlock the final, I think it's usually fighting games where like if you beat the final boss, you get to like unlock the final boss as a playable character.
Yeah.
But they're awful or just like average because they have to nerf it, obviously. But like not the case with Rahu. When you unlock Rahu 3, it is as
Yeah.
strong as it should be. Like it's ridiculous. Unbeatable, like unbeatable basically.
Pretty much.
I loved though the other kind of like weird unlockable one, the Ray Legend,
Yeah.
which is like the old Ray from like the N64 Japanese only game.
Yeah.
And apparently like the main character's father's Robo or something.
Yeah.
It
and,
is so good.
and it's got like a human face.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
so fast. It is insane. That was my favorite one because I loved boosting around the map all over the place. And it had like an infinite boost basically. Like
Yeah.
it could just boost all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Anyway, really a good game. That's might be the GameCube wave I play next
Yeah.
because it's been a long time since I played it. The only other custom robo game they released in America is the Arena game for the DS. And I don't know if there's ever been games in Japan since then. I don't know if that was the last one or not. I actually kind of want to look into that. That's interesting. I played Arena on the DS a little bit, and it was just not great.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. I was like, meh.
It's
I played it for a while,
yeah,
but
it's interesting
it
how
was
often like they'll do a mobile port and it's just terrible.
yeah, like Kingdom Hearts. Like,
Yeah.
I do not like a single Kingdom Hearts mobile game.
I didn't really
It's
care for Mario
just-
Kart Super Circuit either.
No, Super Circuit's not great. Mario Kart DS was okay, but I prefer Double Dash. Like,
Yeah.
it's rare I prefer the mobile version of a game. Usually it's games made for mobile that are good. Like, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is fantastic and, stuff like that. Some ports of platformer games are pretty good. Like on Game Boy Advance, they ported all the Donkey Kong countries, and those ported really well.
Yeah,
really,
actually,
really well.
Yoshi's Island ported
Yes, yeah, totally. Great example. I have that and the Mario World version. Great games. So.
well. I think NES, original Game Boy, and SNES games port very well to almost
Just
anything.
Yeah.
Just
'cause they're
because of how
simple.
simple they
Yeah.
are. Yeah, and the
Not complicated controls either.
right.
Yeah.
That's why like
It's nice.
I don't like trying to emulate anything newer than SNES.
Yeah. Like I've definitely tried, the Dolphin and stuff with GameCube stuff. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
I have
and,
a well-working GameCube. Like I can just
Yeah,
get a disc if I need it.
like
So-
like even with Project 64. Like that's not too bad.
fine, though.
But it's just not as good as playing it on
I
the
just
real
don't
thing.
like emulators much. Like, now that I have every Nintendo system, like I have a really cool custom Game Boy Color. I have a great SP. I have a great 3DS. I have I have basically every Nintendo console now, and I just so much prefer playing it
Yeah,
on
you
the
even
real
have an
hardware.
NES. So
I have an NES. I do not have a working Super Nintendo. I have the SNES Classic Edition,
yeah,
which has almost every game I'd want on there. And then I have between the Wii U Virtual Console and the 3DS Virtual Console, I could buy any SNES game I want, basically. So I have a lot of SNES games on my Wii U. So actually, speaking of Wii U, I want to talk about that a little bit. There was some news that in some like outlying, like weird like islands and stuff, like Barbados, I think, and like places like that, Nintendo's shutting down pretty much all their Wii U services, and I think they're slowly getting away from the Wii U, and they might even close down the eShop, in not too long, like they did with the Wii. The Wii's officially gone now, and I was like, I want to like look there again before that goes away, because I have a lot of Virtual Console games on the Wii U, and it has a really good library. And so I was looking through, and I saw the Metroid Prime trilogy,
oh yeah,
which has all three Metroid Prime games. And I actually only have the second one for GameCube on actual disc, Echoes, which is my favorite one. But so I bought that, and I'm gonna play those too because I don't remember them like at all. And like it's pretty story heavy, like, and there's some really cool like things you can discover about the story as like you're playing and stuff. And I think I didn't play it until like I played it really young, so I didn't know like half of what was going on. I don't think I was just like, shoot the space pirates. Oh, morph ball, that's cool. Like I didn't really know what was going on, so I'm gonna replay those and actually try to get the whole story. I think that'll be fun. So
that was the first Metroid Prime was during an era where I was kind of just trying every game that I could find.
yeah, totally. Me too.
I remember I played a lot of different GameCube games at that time.
Plus, back
Briefly.
then there were like demo discs, and there was like Game Crazy and Blockbuster, so you could rent games and stuff. Yeah, yeah, I remember enjoying those games. So yeah, I'd really like to get into them a little more because I don't remember them that well. I don't know if I even ever beat them all. I never played 3 either. The Corruption for Wii. I never played it, so yeah, I'm glad I'll have those up. Definitely want to do that.
Yeah. I had a Raspberry Pi with emulation station on it. And I had
and it went poo poo pee pee.
yeah, it just stopped booting one day. I don't know if it's the SD card or if it's the Pi
actual
itself.
board, yeah.
So
Lame.
yeah.
So sad.
I'll have to
Did you get that as a gift?
Yeah, Kyle got it for me, and
that's
he's the
nice.
one that actually loaded everything on it too.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
cool. Could be an easy fix too. So
Yeah, well, I'll probably just buy another Raspberry
controller's
Pi
sweet,
because they're
though.
not very expensive.
you just love the controller, and
Yeah.
that's a nice. The
So-
8-bit do makes such great controllers.
Yeah, and I might just swap the SD card in, and then if that works, then I know that it was just the old Pi board, and if that doesn't work, then I know it's probably the SD card.
Nice. Well, yeah. Luckily, it's not super expensive. So
And it's actually like replacing the entire thing. It money wise is not a significant expense for me, but reloading all of the games and stuff that's
That'd
going to
be a
be a
pain,
pain.
yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Not. Hopefully, it's not the SD card.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
What else are you playing, Brian?
what I'm doing now
Wink,
is
wink.
a new Paper Mario playthrough.
Weird, crazy. We're playing Paper
Shocking.
Mario. Crazy.
I've asked what type of like challenge run I should do, and you said
Yes,
it
and I
suggested
said
a 10 HP run.
10 HP, baby.
So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
That's the fun way to play.
I'm in Flower Fields about to fight Huff and Puff.
Oh, nice. Huff and Puff's not easy. You don't have a strategy.
I feel like he might be easier than the Super Blooper was. So
Oh yeah,
Who knows?
you had trouble with him, right?
Yeah, only the first time.
Was it the little dudes that killed you, or
No, it was when he turned red and
Yeah.
attacked, and I didn't have
He does so
bow
much
out
damage. Yeah.
to use out of sight. So
he does so much damage? It's insane.
Volt. I did use a Volt Shroom, which, as we learned for Electro Blooper, is really
Mm-hmm.
useful. But also, the little guys can't hurt you if you have a Volt Shroom
Yeah,
on,
that's true.
because they get damaged instead.
Yep. Yep. I knew that as well.
I'm also probably going to continue that Pokemon Diamond playthrough I had started a few months ago.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Although I think I started on a different computer, and I think I want to do it on my main computer, so I
Yeah.
might just start over, because transferring.
Did you get that far, or
I didn't get all that far, so
Yeah.
yeah. Although I
who'd
guess
you start with?
transferring save data isn't that hard.
yeah, it's usually just a one file.
I probably started with Chimchar.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's the easy way for sure.
Yeah,
I started with Oshawott. Is it Oshawott?
I don't
That's
even
Gen
remember.
5, I think. Oh, I don't know 4 and 5 that well. Dang it. I don't know. Whatever.
I think Gen 4 is with Greninja and his pre-evolutions, but I forget.
Ninja? That's
Or is
Gen
that Gen
6. That's X and Y.
Oh,
That's Froakie, bro.
oh. Great.
Nice.
Now I feel like I don't know anything about Pokemon. No, that's okay.
Everyone's
I'm a
like,
Gen
are you
1er.
kidding me? Yeah.
It's all
He's
right.
like, whatever, I'm a Gen 1er. Leave me alone.
There are only 150 Pokemon.
Okay, Grandpa.
The human
your
eye
medicine.
can't. The human eye can't even see past 150
That's
Pokemon.
true. That's true. It's physically impossible. Listen, Oshawott was one of the. Oh, right. No, Oshawott is Gen 5. Piplup is Gen 4. With
Okay.
Empoleon, the big penguin dude.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
Gen
I kind
4.
of thought so.
That's
Yeah.
Gen 4. Okay.
And
I hit
then-
the table. I was so mad. Dang it. Awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um.
how has that level 1 been for you? Overall, the level 1 playthrough?
Oh, the Paper Mario
Yeah.
10 HP.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It's actually been fine, and once you get Power Rush, that's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I haven't really been using Mega Rush because I haven't been letting myself get down to 1 HP.
I just lowered my chair. That was awesome. Bro, you need to embrace. You need to embrace peril.
Between Power Rush and I think it's Last Stand, and then also
Yeah, Last
Damage
Stand is
Dodge
really
and
good.
Defend Plus, I can be hit by a 3 damage move and a 3 or 4 damage move and not take any damage.
right.
When I'm below.
Later
5,
you can
at 5 or less.
do some cool stuff too. Get all or nothing. You can get
Yeah.
D up, P down, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I said level 1 playthrough because there's a video by the very cool, classic Paper Mario man, Strider 7X. Controversy. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. The video itself is great. I don't know the man. Anyway, and he plays through the entire game at level 1. He changed the hacked the thing or whatever so that he gets no star points. And so he beat the entire game
Wow.
with 10 HP, 5 FP, and 3 BP.
That would be so hard.
Like, I didn't know it was possible until I watched this video. And he lays it out. Like, it's like a 40-minute video of him laying out how to do the bosses, basically.
Yeah.
He just shows the bosses.
What badges did he use?
I know, right? Mega Rush. Most of the time. He's at 1 HP 90% of the time.
Okay.
Because if you strategize it right, you can survive a whole battle without getting hit at all.
Yeah.
And so you never have to be above 1 HP. And some of the ways he got around stuff is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like he took a long time and did the math on everything and just knows the game really well too. And so what I did is I watched the video through and I had a notebook and I wrote down every stat, every strategy and everything. So I actually have it all. And I want to, on a future podcast maybe, go through it all and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's nuts. Some of it's so weird. Like, how does that work? I don't know. It does. I'll just tell you, like, he beat Huff and Puff at level, 1, and it took like 3 turns
Wow.
because of the way he did it. I was like so blown. I'm like, how is that possible? Crazy.
So
Very cool.
this 10 HP run though has taught me a couple of things.
Like
I've
you know the game better, right?
yeah, I have learned a couple of things, and I've
I definitely
realized
felt that way.
like
after
if I think what I did before is sometimes I would just use a party member just because I felt I should for this one fight. But now I'm like thinking about, okay, what is their damage output
yeah, like
against
what
an
really,
enemy with defense versus without defense,
Yeah.
and
really weigh what they can do.
and
Yeah.
I've actually beaten a couple of enemies more quickly than I used to because I used the right party member and I used the right attacks at the right time.
Dude, and in this level 1, he doesn't upgrade party members either.
Oh wow,
It's like, what? Insane. The hardest fight is the final Bowser, and you need good art. You can't just have good strategy. You need good RNG also.
Oh yeah,
And so that one takes a few tries sometimes. And you only used a life shroom like 2 or 3 times. Like that's not one of the main strategies. Anyway, just crazy. Very cool.
One that will be hard for me in some ways and not in others is a 5 FP run.
Yeah, that's not easy either.
Because I pretty heavily abuse FP, but I'm also actually pretty good at being efficient with it when I need to be. Because since I burn through it so quickly, I often am fighting enemies with none or very little, and so I have to be efficient when I'm in that situation.
Yeah, totally.
But when I have it, I burn it. So
Yep. I did the opposite run one time. I did a all HP basically.
yeah,
Like I dumped almost every level up into HP. I think I upgraded FP and BP once or twice, and
Yeah.
that's it. Did everything else HP. That's a very weird way to play.
yeah,
And kind of boring.
yeah.
Like you take out the strategy basically, and you just kind of hit stuff until they die and hope to survive.
Yeah,
And use shrooms if you need to, and that's
yeah, because you can just kind of tank everything.
yeah, it's
then.
exactly. I was just tanking through. Kind of
Yeah.
a weird way to play, but interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
It's cool to see a different aspect of a game, basically.
Well, it's funny too because like I've played that way with lots of RPGs where I just tank my way through everything.
Right.
So that's like a pretty normal play style
But
for
for-
me.
not
in
for
most
Paper
games,
Mario,
but not
yeah.
Paper Mario. Yeah,
No way. Not focusing on badges is weird.
yeah,
Yeah. I've also been off and on playing 1,000 Year Door. Just
Oh, yeah.
because I'm in like the Glitz pit right now. Just when I feel like it. Like it's still not my favorite. I like it obviously, but 64 is just has that place in my heart.
yeah. Like people say they really love Thousand Year Door, and
But they
I
grew
just
up. They grew
don't.
up with it.
Yeah.
Like just like how we grew up with 64.
I
like-
wouldn't go as far as to say I dislike it, but I don't really like it all that much. Now, when it first came out, I disliked it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that they were making the paper aesthetic a bigger deal because I liked the fact that they kind of ignored the fact that the game was made out of paper almost in the first game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they just happen to be made out of paper, and that doesn't really have any impact on the game or the story whatsoever.
in
Except
this
in
game,
just
it's
a
like,
couple of ways.
you're a paper airplane. That's crazy.
But yeah, then in the second game, they did it a lot more, and I understand why.
Yeah,
I mean,
why wouldn't
they
they?
have this paper aesthetic. Why not make use of it and
Yeah,
make it a part of the
totally
thing?
makes
But
sense,
yeah. And then I don't know, the look and feel is just different enough.
Yeah,
I
very
had the
different.
same kind of thing with like Halo 2 and other Halo games. Like the look and feel is just different enough that it doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay if a game looks different and feels the same, but when it feels different, that's when I don't like it as much. And then there are some games that look the same, like almost exactly the same, and feel different. Like
Yeah.
The different Smash Bros. Games.
Yeah.
I feel like between Melee and Ultimate, they look pretty much identical with just slight graphics
Gosh, a
improvements.
Smash player would destroy you right now.
Yeah, well,
But I
they're
agree.
dumb anyway.
But I agree.
But like just the relative speed of each character changes pretty dramatically
character
from
feels
one
completely
game
different,
to
yeah.
the next.
Yeah. Especially if they have some of the same stages.
Yeah.
Like the stages look exactly the same almost.
Yeah, and like I talk to people who do it like semi-competitively, and they agree with me that
Whoa, whoa,
it
whoa.
definitely
Are you saying there's competitive Smash players?
yes.
That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Anyway,
It
continue.
wasn't funny though. When we, I know a lot of people that are way way better than me at Smash. Like I know several people in that category, and that they agree with me that it definitely feels different, and that's actually why most of them prefer Melee, and why I prefer the newer Smash
Yeah.
games.
Why? Because Melee sucks? Is that why?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's pretty much my least favorite Smash Bros.
Yeah, me
game.
too. Anyway, I think it's the only one I don't own.
Yeah, but it's I wanted to be good at Smash. I tried really hard to be good at Smash, and then I just never was. So
I just accepted that that's not my thing.
yeah,
That is just not.
turns out
my
fighting
thing.
games. Are
Fighting
not
in
our
general is not like it's a very different fighting game than most. But even other fighting games, I don't really
thing. Yeah,
play.
like
So
I enjoy playing Soul Calibur 3,
yeah, yeah.
but
Soul Calibur's all right.
not great at it.
The only fighting game I really enjoyed and tried to be good at was Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. But that's because I like Persona 4. And that's pretty much it.
I tried that
So-
game for like 30 seconds, and I could not get the hang of it, and I just put it back down because there were a couple of movements
all
that
like
I
that.
tried that I just couldn't do. My brain
That's just
could
fighting
not make
games
them
also.
happen.
Like, that's just how fighting games are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Brian. This is the part of the podcast where we talk about Animal Crossing. So how's your island going?
So I
Yeah, how many times have you played it? Twice?
yeah, like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
I'm in the very early stages still. I still have a tent. I
Does Blathers have his tent? There
Blathers
yet?
has his tent,
Nice.
so I've at least gotten that far.
Nice. Awesome.
But yeah,
And that's it.
more or less, like I don't know. It's a game that's full of things that I just don't really care about doing in a video game.
So funny. I mean, I hear that a lot. Like, I feel like Animal Crossing is very polarizing.
Yeah.
You either like it or you don't, or you just don't get it. Like, and I've always liked games like, Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley and games like that. So, but I never really played an Animal Crossing game like this much. Like, I played the original on GameCube some. I played New Leaf some. Like, and I wasn't even super into it. I just didn't really take the time to do it. But this game, I'm in it. I'm in it hard.
Yeah.
I have not missed a day since I got it. And so I'm at 38 days, I believe. 38 days straight
Nice.
of not missing a day and talking to every villager every day. So I have that streak going because you get an achievement for that.
I've had the game for weeks and have not, and I've only played like 3
So you're gonna have
days.
so many weeds. Villagers won't be happy. I'm just kidding. Like you care. But I'm finally getting to a place where I'm happy with my island. I'm finally getting like things placed that I like and like furniture that I actually like finally. There's one thing about this game where it's like it gives you tons of cool like furnishings for your house. Like I have so much cool coffee stuff and like kitchen appliances and like stuff I really want to use, but they never give you tables or counters or anything like that to put it on. Like they do, but they're much more rare and more expensive and stuff. And so I have just all this awesome stuff in my storage that I can't put out. So I'm just kind of waiting until I can build more stuff because I have the full sized house now. Like my main floor has 4 rooms and then I have a upstairs big room and a basement large room. And so my upstairs I want to make into like a cafe type of thing, but I have no like countertops to do anything. So I'm just kind of waiting. There's this one DIY recipe for something called the Ironwood Kitchenette. And it is for pretty much everyone. It's one of the first DIY recipes you get. And it's this cool like countertop and sink thing, and it looks really nice. Like it's for great kitchen thing, and you need an ironwood dresser to make it, and you also need a cutting board to make it. And those two, I don't know if they did this on purpose or if it just kind of happened, because I've heard tons of things online, like people agree you never have both at the same time, basically. Like I got the ironwood dresser super early. I've been able to build that forever, but never once have I seen the cutting board or the DIY recipe for the cutting board, if there even is one. And there's tons of people who got the cutting board and never have found the dresser recipe. So it's just like one of those things where like there's like memes about it. They're like, where were you when you first got your cutting board or something? Like it's just like it's a whole thing. So to this day I still don't have one. But my item shop finally upgraded. So yesterday was the first day it was open, and they have more items now that they hold every day. And they had this like, I think it's called the System Kitchen, and it's a whole like a bottom part with like a sink and a cooktop, and like an upper part with cabinets and stuff. I'm like, bro, I finally have a piece of kitchen equipment. Although I don't know if you can actually put anything on top of it, but because I have like a stand mixer I really want to use, and like it's a whole thing. One other thing is that there's this dude, right? His name is Flick. He is a goth lizard, and yes, a goth lizard, and he's obsessed with bugs. Can you please say like hi or
Hi.
like, oh, uh-huh. So I'm not talking to a brick wall the whole time.
This is how I listen to people talk.
I don't care. This is an audio podcast.
Yes, continue. Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, keep going. Yes.
Barry, can you cut that? Brian, there's this goth lizard.
Yes.
Let me tell you about this goth lizard.
Yes, tell me more about this goth lizard. I really want to know.
He's obsessed with bugs.
Okay, cool.
Which is weird.
Great.
Anyway, you can sell him bugs for like a bajillion bells.
Yeah, okay.
Like
all right.
If you if you sell the
I'm just cutting this entire section from the podcast.
No, you have to leave it in. Now we've talked too much. Now you have to leave it in. Barry, keep that in. Barry, could you put a smiling hamburger from the left to the right of the screen? Okay.
We don't have anybody employed named Barry on this podcast.
That is true. We need to get a Barry so we can edit. So if you sell like a tarantula, the classic tarantulas, they sell for like 8,000 bells each at the normal store. But if you sell the Flick, he'll give you like 12,000. So he gives like 1.5 times basically the amount, I think.
Right. The economy of
exactly tarantulas.
Animal Crossing.
Tarantulas and turnips is all it is. And so, but he only comes to your island, on a day, and it's totally random, completely random.
Yeah.
And so I had him, and I was like, oh, so starting tomorrow, I'm going to start saving up bugs. So my main part of my island is just bug cages. Like,
wow.
It is covered in bug cages. I did a rough estimate. I have at least 1.5 to 2 million bells worth of bugs.
Oh, wow.
On my
That's
island
a lot.
at the moment. And that's enough to pay off my last home loan. Like it's quite a lot.
You'll be free from your debt.
Yes, but that was over 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And Flick has still not shown up.
Oh.
It is so annoying walking around these cages every day. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, and the lag. The
Oh,
lag
wow.
is insane. So like if they're not on screen, it's fine. But if I go on screen or am right by them, it's like I'm walking. Like it's otherwise the game like runs really well. But yeah, if you have too many bugs on the ground, it's insane. So hopefully soon, man. I'm just hoping. So every day I wake up and I'm like, maybe today's the day that Flick will be on my island.
It's like 3 more weeks go by. You finally give up hope. You start getting rid of the bugs, and then when you're down to the last one, he shows up.
Like if I start picking them up and just selling them at the shop, I know like the next day he's going to be there. So I can't. I just have to be patient.
Just have to keep these bugs
forever. I also built a park today, which was pretty cool. I had this empty area emptied of trees and put down like nice like brick path in like this big square area. I have like this like little climbing play structure and like a slide and like some tables and stuff. It's a nice little park area. It's pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. Anyway, I love that game. So
Yeah.
I'm just one of those people. When it's like, and pretty much everyone in our friend group is into it.
I know.
So I mean, maybe if they were like, if they played with you more, you'd probably get more into it.
Maybe.
But most of the time, not really. It's like, I kind of want to visit people's islands more often, but yeah, it's just how it is. I'm getting some good progress on mine. Hopefully, I'll get a cutting board soon. I just want a cutting board. Anyway.
So, how will you feel if I start playing and I get a cutting board?
You know how I'll feel? I'll say, hey, Brian, can I have a cutting board? That's the thing. It's like if you get an item, you can order an unlimited amount of them. Once you get an item, you can go to like the ATM and order it through like a catalog and just get, up to like 5 a day. And you can just keep ordering them.
Oh, so have you checked to see if Ben or
I know.
Kyle
I
or
need to,
Barry
like,
have cutting boards?
I somewhat asked in the Discord today. I need to really ask them because that would be amazing if they could just buy me one. I'd be happy to pay them. Like I have the bells for the furniture I want.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of bells, I got 700K today thanks to Kyle. So our friend Kyle, he finally had the turnip prices. Like I guess over 500 is like some of the best you can get. Like around 600 I think is the highest it can be. But he had 469 nice today. So that was really really good. I wish I'd bought more turnips now.
Yeah.
Because you can only buy them every Sunday. And like I could go back in time and do it, but I'm not one of those people.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I've yet to time travel at all. Like I'm trying to really be purist about it. So
Yeah, it's just like how I would adjust the in-game time in Pokemon Sword so that I could get.
no, that I did all the time. Yeah. I time traveled in Sword and Shield all
I
the
think
time.
I told you about that, didn't I?
Well, I'd heard online some people doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, but yeah.
But like how you can change
some of it can be really useful.
the day to be the first of the month, and the first of each month changes the weather
Right.
to be the same weather throughout the whole
I found a
WoW
diagram
area.
online
Yeah.
that shows which month is which weather.
Yeah.
Super helpful for when I completed the Pokedex. That was super helpful.
Yeah.
My gosh. I'm glad I did complete that eventually, because now I don't have to touch it until the DLC comes out.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I wonder if I'll probably get back into it.
Oh yeah,
I haven't touched it since.
I kind of forgot all about
Yeah.
the DLC
The
for it.
DLC is huge. It's like a whole new game. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Oh, has it not yet come out?
No,
Oh, okay.
otherwise I'd be playing it.
Okay, because I kind of thought
pretty
that,
far away still.
that it had come out and I just hadn't gotten around to.
It might be
getting
like
it, but-
June, or it might be as far as August. I don't really remember. But I pre-bought it, so I already have it basically. So
The only game I've downloaded any DLC for lately is the Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom
Rewind.
Hearts, yeah, which I still haven't played. I'm like into Nintendo still right now, but I think soon I'll get the Remind DLC. I'll get FF7 Remake, and I also need to play Persona 5 Royal, which I have now, because I have yet to touch Persona 5. So that'll be good. Yep, I'm also reading, so like that's
Oh,
taking
yeah.
time also. So these books are cool, man.
I haven't read since January, so I haven't read a book
Nice.
since January.
Do you have any that you need to read right now?
Yeah, I have a couple. I started Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable
right.
Thing last
Yeah.
year. And then I started Red Rising because my dad was
yeah.
insistent that I read it because it's like his favorite book ever.
I heard the next ones are good too.
Yeah.
Golden
So,
Age or whatever. There's
Yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 out now
Mm-hmm.
in that series. Nice. Also playing board games. All the board games. I might talk about board games at some point in a podcast.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Cartographers.
A lot of cartographers, man. That is such a
I
good
finally
game.
kind of learned how to play it
That
right.
is such a good game.
So, yeah.
That's one of my favorite games. It's come out in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Most people online agree. Like I've seen a lot of posts about cartographers.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm drinking out of my Watch It Played mug.
Mm.
It's so awesome. If you want to learn board games, go to watch it play it on YouTube. It is the best. How long have we been going, Brian?
About an hour and 10 minutes.
That's not bad. How are you, audience? They can't answer.
They would answer,
They can't
but they're not
answer
here.
me.
And you can't hear them.
You teased it in the beginning, but I actually really would like to make this a video podcast at some point. Probably nothing fancy at first, just a stagnant camera just on us. Maybe someday we could get 3 going.
Yeah.
Kind of have shots on both of us.
I wouldn't mind
it'd be
doing
nice.
it. Yeah. I don't know about about doing it every time necessarily, making it a full-time video podcast, but maybe just like a couple of special videos where we actually do something.
Possibly.
Not just do the podcast.
The thing I liked, so I watch a lot of like Rooster Teeth
Right.
podcasts, and I love watching the RT podcast and the Achievement Hunter Off Topic podcast in video because I know them as personalities, and like I like. It's like it feels more like them when you can see them, and just seeing them talk and seeing their mannerisms is awesome.
Yeah.
And it is true that if it was video, we could do dumb stuff on the table too, and like show off things we're talking about and stuff like that. I don't know. It'd be nice. We'll keep talking about it. But anything else you want to add, Brian?
No, not really.
Wow, Brian, that was a big old farto.
Yeah, sure.
Gosh, I can't
It
believe
was
you.
also totally real.
I can't believe you'd fart on air.
Yeah.
Wow, sad. He's giving me the look. See if this is a video podcast. People could see that look you're giving me. Don't you want to see that? Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of the Brothers Game Podcast.
You mean listening to?
Thanks for watching this episode of the Brothers Game Podcast. Ugh.